Good morning, good Thursday morning, and I guess it's fair that I'm not lit up yet because it's very dreary. You can kind of see today, and it's actually, I'll say it's sleeting as opposed to snowing, but I think they're calling for a really, really big snowstorm here in Rocky Mountain House. So I'm Lori LaRose. I am not a weather girl. I have access Stampin here on Facebook and sometimes on Instagram. I say that every morning. It's like, I would love to, so the other morning, Tuesday, I always think Tuesday because it's also specialty night right at this point. Technique Tuesdays, I think of it as morning time because today is the technique. ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, techniques with me here on Stampin' Up products. On Tuesday, I was doing the pretty bokeh and we were making ideas of how to mount them. And so it would be really nice after playing with you, going through the process, then I could finish the cards on Instagram and it would be like, oh, it'd be so smooth. So doing the techniques and not finishing the cards, which is my go-to at this point, reminds me is not quite the right word, but it's similar to the way that I actually used to do my business. So I've been a Stampin' Up demonstrator for nearly 23 years already. I'll just keep saying 22 years. Yes. 2002, October, I saw Stampin' Up, was from a friend in September. They were going to get new stamp pads in October, so I waited till October 1st, and we wrote away for it, paid a lot of money, got a kit that we couldn't fix up, so I can help you with that. It's much easier, and it's all product that you'd be buying anyways, and you get started up and have some fun. 22 years later, still enjoying it. But when I used to hold classes, we didn't used to have a a cut and emboss machine. And so we did lots and lots of backgrounds. And I'd make my background so pretty for my classes, I couldn't bear to cover them up. I always admired the girls when they actually covered them up with a big piece of paper. Because we start out with like the 4x5 and a quarter or whatever. And then by the time you put on a 3x4 or something, which is what I'm going to do again today, it's all good. Anyways, all right, so I'm going to get started. ABCs, we are on Q for quilting. This might be a little bit faster paced one, but it probably is not going to be. But I did do some pre-stuff, and then I'm kind of stuck. And so it was late last night, and I thought, hey, what do I do now? Hi, Alexina. I'm not a quilter with cloth. I have made one table, a tree skirt is my favorite thing in the whole world. I made it, you know what, maybe only about 25 years ago, actually. I was a young mom and we were able to bring our kids and they got babysat and we did crafts around in the basement of a church kind of thing. So I guess it wouldn't have been much more than 25 years. Feels like it's been a lot longer that way. Huh. Give me kind of like, Anyways, and so I was trying to do that. So I'll pop you down. You'll see a mess on the thing here, whatever. And then I'll show you a couple different ways. This is the most difficult way to quilt. Oh, did I say we were on cue for quilting? Yes, I think I did. Anyways, and so we'll go with that. And I'm going to put me down here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Hang on a second. I could ask people to come on with what I just did. That's kind of fun. Oh, that definitely, you do not need to see the desk. I posted the other day, I think did I post it? I don't know if I posted it on Access Stampin' or, we have a public group, Creativity for Everyone. You're welcome to go and join it. I recommend you. And in fact, I'll challenge you to do a bit of quilting with paper today or over the weekend and to post what you come up with, basically. So I selected some pieces that looked like they kind of went together, and I did 4 of them, which I think a 9 quilt or whatever you call it is actually, I think it'll probably be a 3x3. So I got cutting, and I know that I glued them all on, then I cut them, and then I cut them the other way, and then I got lost. And so honestly, first thing this morning, I thought I'll fix that up, but I didn't get not around to it. That's not quite the right word, but I didn't get to it. That's a better way of putting it. So anyways, okay, that I'll be babbling away to say that Now I think I could cut these in half, and since I'm not married to them anyways, I'm going to take this one and cut it diagonally to diagonally. And I am now cutting through 4 pieces of paper. So I have to say that the one thing with, if I'm right about the way that you put a 9-piece of quilt together, you end up going to be having lots of pieces of paper. Hopefully this is the final one. Look at me rubbing my arm. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for stopping in, you guys. I will do this one the same thing. And I guess, okay, this will be good. I was just going to say, if I do it the opposite way. So these two ended up, and I'm not quite sure how, because they were all different. They were all going together different. And then when I cut away the one piece, I ended up with exactly the same. These two ended up being the same. And the idea of this is that no two are the same. So now they aren't. So now this one here, I don't want to glue it again on. I cut off the wrong piece is what I'm trying to say. I think I need to trim this up a bit. There's a mess here. It'll make a mess down the road probably. Oy. Hang on. Might not be as much chatter today either because, okay. All right, so I have to pretend these two are together. And this will be good, I think. So just like a good sewer, I'm just holding them together without pins. Oh, that's not a good sewer. Sorry, I know that. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to hold really firm so it doesn't slip. There. Hoorah. So the thing that I always thought is cool about when you're doing these things is that what looks like a whole bunch of little pieces actually is often big blocks. And I'm going to put that aside just for half a nanosecond because I don't know what I'm doing with it anyways. This is the other one that I was working on. And I thought, well, stop cutting, Lori, and do it with them. So see, I don't know how to half prep and then not do more, but this will be good. Good morning, Tori. How you doing, hon? This will be good for by television. I already have some prepared kind of thing. What I usually do, now I've lost it though. So Friday nights we do cocktails and cards, and if I lose my stuff, it's kind of fun because you benefit. You can, the girls play a drinking game actually. Each time I lose stuff, which I've definitely lost some stuff. And I need to blow my nose. Hold on 1 second. Ooh, it's really coming down right now. It looks like rain, except it's white right now. We've had 2 days of rain, which washed away all our snow. I feel like that's, instead of washed away all the spiders, we washed away all the snow. It's just snow. Oh, rats, you guys. Oh, here it is right here. Little tiny piece. Okay, so what I did with this one was I took all these pretty pieces from this paper. It's on sale right now. It's like $11.90 if you're Canadian. So less pricey if you're American and looking. You'll have to find yourself a demonstrator. But if you're from Canada and would like some help, I would love to help you, by the way. So I took strips. Mostly I did them 3/4. This one I would have trimmed. I got started and I measured on the back every 1/2 inch. And then I cut. And I was like, rats, that's not what I want. So make sure that you check which way as you're cutting. So the idea is that you literally just, if you think of this as squared, you literally just are doing 1/2 inch strips. You glue them all on, and then you cut them into little triangles. And then we're going to glue this down. And again, this is harder quilting. This is crazier. This is crazy quilting. This is, oh, I need to do it from the back side, of course. And so I'm just putting the point on the edge of my cutter. And I don't know how well this would work with a personal trimmer, honestly, because it's thick. Now I'm only going through 1 piece of cardstock and 1 DSP right now. And actually that's all I'll probably end up doing with this one, and then I zigzag it. So then the next one's gonna go the other way. And then aren't you glad that I did this before? Most of it. And then you can see the gluing. I think it might be kind of cute. mostly why I stopped last night, although I was kind of glad. Okay, I have to say, I stopped cutting because of the thought that I could do this with you guys, wrap it up. I'm going to stop again because I'm not sure. Well, there's one more. For goodness sakes, finish it, Lori. Okay. Okay, maybe there's two, but I don't think so. Okay. No, that's it. Okay. And then somehow our magic nether. How does that work? That then you have one plain strip at the end. What? That doesn't make any sense. Geometrically, it doesn't make any sense to me. I just cut a whole bunch. Oh, I guess each one of these straightens out. Okay, so what I was having trouble with is the edges. This one just didn't seem to go, so I wanted to actually pull out my, what do you call it? But that's not making any sense. All right, where you see some of the burgundy, I have pulled some old Merlot paper. I have to be real honest with you. This is not a favorite paper of mine. So this is like the cotton batting inside. This is not the lovely batting on the back. We are not going to see the back of this, and it's just getting glued over. I would recommend actually at this point, and I think I'll do it. So sometimes I recommend, hi Anne Louise. Sometimes I recommend, but don't do it myself. Today I'm actually going to do it because this is going to be finicky. You can put, oh, that's not that. That's masking paper. Hang on, I just am looking for sticky sheets. If you're wondering, what are you doing? What are you going to recommend? Tell us. I'm in the midst of this. There's no way you've kept up with me. I know that for sure, but I would recommend some sticky sheets. I used glue last night on these pieces, maybe because they were longer. When these pieces, of course, when you get to the little tiny ones, if there's not a piece of glue underneath there, you're in trouble. I'm not cutting this again, mind you, so I could maybe still cheat. I am a cheater, pumpkin eater. I'm going to just trim a little tiny bit of this and go around here. So I'll show you what I recommend. And if you're frugal like stink, like me, this would be one time that you actually at least use the whole piece. But anyways, okay. So I would recommend these sheets. I will show you how it works, whether you use the sheets or not. And you need to go, again, on the original one, you really need to go right up to the corners because otherwise you lose your little bits. I'm going to pull that right off and then we'll see where the shiny part is. Da, 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 da. Come on. And then you just need to peel a little bit carefully because it's not actually full-on tape. So you could also use a tape runner, but again, like I did, if you watch the one reel I did do that was kind of fun was the Tuesday techniques the other morning when I was using, okay, I was doing lots of stuff yesterday. Hold on one second here. What are you guys seeing? It's all good. Hi, Kay. Get this way a little tiny bit. And I do have this a little bit this far away. You might have been in my crotch is such a bad word to say, but perhaps you were on my lap. That's what I'd like to say. I'm going to come back to this in a few seconds, I hope. I'm going to get rid of this stuff. Hang on. All right, hang on. Very carefully move that. This has to get moved carefully. This is actually, I'm going to show it off for half a second. If you haven't seen this pretty paper yet, this is the bits and pieces that come in this garden set. And I will put a plain piece of paper over top of this. Ooh, look at all these pieces flying out of here. You crazy pieces. Some of these pieces are so pretty on the back. I have to say, I love the back. And then you've got all the little critters on the front from this garden one. And Storybook Moments, it's called. But I always think of it as garden because the very front page is this beautiful one. And this is a stamp set that you can also get. Not so miniature, it's a larger stamp set basically than those things. Was having some fun making some little curly back cards yesterday. That was our class yesterday. Pretty fun, hey? All right, cleaned up. Okay, come back here now. Knock ya. knock you to heaven here. Okay, here we go. So now we have this and then some glue as well. I'll put some glue in a second. So I am going to begin by laying this guy down here. Okay, and then this guy, I think. Hold everything. Oh, and I am layering this back and forth just a little bit. Oi, 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 just a minute. Somehow these got tiny, or what's up with that? That guy's this way. This guy's probably this way, I hope. So, if you want a true quilting lesson, and again, stick to me or go and grab a coffee, because I'm going to show you cheater quilting in a nanosecond, but we're going to try and work on this. So I'm going to put this up, just one. So I'm watching, oh, that's too much. I'm going to put it down one, and hopefully, you know what? Well, this is still goobery. I'm going to put this down a little bit more, because although I think it would maybe stay anyways. I'm going to have to trim that anyways. Okay, so this way then I can go up or down, and still I'm going to get rid of that, but I'll start with down. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, I'm going to go with this green, and I'm just going to go up and down on the green a little tiny bit. So the next one is going to be a green one. I'll bring these guys in a second. Oh, and I'm definitely going this way. Hang on one second, ladies and gentlemen. And then I think I go back up. And down. Okay, so now I need to put glue in here, obviously. So you can either have the sticky, and that's the nice thing about that, is that when you're doing the original strips, the very first one, if you're just coming on, you'll have to watch the replay to find out what I just did. But basically, these ones I'm not cutting apart again, so I don't have to be quite as worried about the glue situation. Well, that's not true. I probably am cutting this apart. No, I probably not. Okay, a little bit of glue. And like quilting, is it therapeutic? Is quilting therapeutic? Or is it frustrating? Whichever way it is to you, that's why you either quilt or don't quilt. I actually love sewing the straight lines, which I think all quilting is straight lines, right, you guys? You can chime in. Are you quilters? Do you quilt? Have you ever considered actually quilting with your paper? And you know what? As I'm doing this, depending on what you're doing, I actually would recommend, so I'm literally thinking this as I'm doing it, because I was cutting through, trying to do that 9, what's that called? A 9, what do you call it? A 9 block or whatever. There's no reason, I don't think. It wouldn't hold as steady, but you could maybe tack it down. Just putting it onto copy paper instead, you guys. Then you'd have the thinner paper, because it literally gets a little bit crazy with how much cutting, how thick you're getting. So the 9-1, you do it in stripes, then you cut it, then you do it the other way, and then you cut it again, and then I cut it yet again, but I don't think I had to glue it yet, and so maybe I'm on the final glue now. I'm going to end up with one too many green, which I'm not sure how that happens, but last night I really wasn't sure how this pattern was going to go anyways, but this is actually turning out not bad. So again, I'm just putting it on Merlot. It's not pretty on Merlot. Know that I realize that. Merlot is an old retired color. I have extra of it, a whole package left. I don't really like it. So it's not like, oh, I'm not hoarding it is what I guess I'm saying. It's one of the ones that I'm not hoarding for a change. Okay, so now I'm a little bit hooped here because I don't know why. but I have, this is going to be 2 greens in a row, which will break the pattern. Oh, you know what? I'll do this. It'll be 2 greens in a row on the other side, but that's okay. Why is that way up there? Oh, it ended up going all the way up. See, and I don't think that's supposed to happen, so I don't know. I'm not a quilter. Fortunately, you were not doing with me. This is going to get cut off anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this. So you could glue the backs of these. Obviously, that'll work too. This might work just fine because I'm going to end up cutting it off. So that the pattern broke there, but that's okay. Now I'm assuming, so that little piece there, somewhere on my desk, I have it, and I will eventually find it, or I will piece a little piece of, I don't even know what's supposed to be in there, probably a burgundy, it'd be a little green piece. So I need to cut that little piece and stick it into there, if you're really looking. So I'll do that after. And there's probably going to get cut. So now I think I could go and I could cut any shape out of that. So let's do that instead of trying to square this up. That's probably a better idea. And I'll bring over the other stuff to show you cheater quilting. And I'll show you one piece right now just to hang on to your attention. But what I'm doing right now is truly quilting with pieces, thin pieces, and making what do you call it? So these guys were on sale recently, and you may have thought, what? There is a set coming out online, and it's going to have, I think, 3 things like this. So they don't actually cut out anything. They just make stitches, and they are perfect for, like, beyond perfect for quilting. So if the idea kind of appeals to you, it is an overlay. And it makes, so you know how you can get a panel and you just do a little cheater by just quilting it onto a piece of batting? That would be your effect that you would want right there. So you will have this, and you will just put it right over top of a piece of paper with a little tiny border trim. And there you have your little quilt. Can you see the quilting on there? I think you can, can't you? Yes. I mean, not just the holes, but you can see the stitching, right? Yeah. So that is a cheater. Definitely a lovely cheater quilt idea. And then you could go ahead and decorate from there with a little bit of just a little note and whatever else you were going to do. I just had these little guys here. What did I do? You know, I just have things and then I move them and then they're not where I thought I moved them to. I will find it eventually. So that's a cheater method. I'm going to go cut this guy out now that I've done this one. And this one I would like to have a nice block. And then I'll show you one other way of quilting that I think is kind of fun. A shape. A shape that this fits. This one will work. And then if you did multiples of these, you could do something from there too. Okay, now does this need to be square? Here, sorry, I'm just now squaring this up. I think that's going to be nice. So I think in quilting, do you just about not have, once you've sewn everything, are there some, the material, just like our paper, is so expensive that I kind of wonder, and I'm going to go back and forth just only because I'm cutting through. In this case, well, I'm cutting through 3 pieces. Hopefully it works. It did not. That's funny. It totally fell off, but hold on, I'm gonna have to try it again. One moment, please. Rats, you guys. Okay, so this would be one where if you used a Bigs from the old days, that would be better. I'm literally cutting through DSP and two, and I did go back and forth, but I'm also working with a stitched one, and I'm wondering if the stitching is kind of holding up the blade a little tiny bit, right? So let's see. If this doesn't work, we'll move on. You can hear me going back and forth, so you know I'm trying my best. Oh, you know what? I think it might work now. So recommend notes on this. If you're going to do this part, I didn't even think of it as I chose this one. And what do I need for the next part? So I bring it over. Hang on. Do this. Coming over, I'm coming. Q for quilting. It is nice. That one's kind of fun. Thanks, Jane. Okay, so now this is going to be cute when it gets done, but it's not quite. It still didn't quite go through. So I don't really kind of need that back. So I'm literally, it's totally the front is cut. So I'm just going to rip away because it doesn't matter to me. I don't need that back and it doesn't need to stick on. Do you know? Sadly, the one piece, I guess the other side too. So it doesn't matter, because they're not really attached there anyways, and it's going to get attached down. So that's all fine. It all worked out good. Yay. And it'll be 5 seconds lower. But that is why you also want to have the glue so well done, right? So sadly, I've got two little spots there. I can put a little tiny bit of pink in there, no problem. And likewise down there. So I'll glue in a little tiny tab. And there is a little piece of quilting, totally quilted. What I'm wondering, and I'm pretty sure you'd never cut a shape like this, but I'm wondering at the end, like on these guys, when I did this, when you quilt, do you square that off? Like, do you kind of lose little tiny bits, basically, is what I was wondering. Anyways, okay, that I'm definitely done. So quilting, full quilting panel. And now another. So that's with these kind of guys. And like I said, there's a new one coming out in a floral one. There's going to be two. Oh, I'm mentally trying to picture it in my head. Is there two? And I should have looked if this was still available. It was available not very long ago, but I kind of feel it is called, in case you're wondering, Brilliant Backgrounds. And I believe they are on sale, if they are available at all. And then the third kind is a two-part, and it's embossing basically. And to find an embossing folder that looks a little bit like quilting essentially is kind of fun. Sometimes using older style stamp sets. I'm going to bring in the textured floral because that'll look like, I feel like that will look a little bit like a bedspread. I'm going to work with peacocks and then a pinky color. There's your petal pink. Gross. I kind of feel like I need, I could do poppy. No, I'm going to do cherry cobbler. Okay, here we go. Those are pretty together. So I'm laughing a little tiny bit because I know that I have like probably half of my ink pads are these old original ink pads that I talked about from 100 years ago. So I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for 22 years. And, oh, these are bigger than I was thinking. I get thrown off. Do you get thrown off by that, you guys? I totally do. I'm kind of laughing. This one is, they're calling this a two-step, and to me it's not. Two-step to me is when you stamp over top, but not because the flower is separated from the thing. Okay, so, and this is a distinctive so. Anyways, half of mine are the old ink pad style. Couple of them are still even. I'm going to be cutting these guys out in case you're wondering, but I am going to guess the die is together. How does that work actually? You layer them together, right? Yeah. Okay. That's so pretty. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Oh, half of my ink pads. And so sometimes when I'm looking for colors, because I'm looking on my wall of colors behind me, because they're this style, and I have 2 different storage units is what I'm trying to get at. And so because I have 2 different storage units, sometimes I'm like, oh, where's my colors? If I know what colors I'm looking for, I know where I need to go for them, if that makes any sense. But if I'm trying to combine, then I get in trouble. All right, so these are very big. All right, I'm going to take this over and cut this at the same time. And then, good morning from BC. Well, yes, because you're not usually over there. You're visiting today, so that's kind of fun. I'm doing quilting, Betty. Look at me go. I could have used some advice. I think you're a bit of a quilter, aren't you? All right, I'm getting some more white paper, and I'm going to cut these 2 guys out. And I'll do this in a 2-part thing. I actually have to be ready to go on time today, so I'm not going to lag over. And that's good for that's good news for some of you guys. But I do need to cut a few more of these. Oh, rats. Okay, so I use a little bit of washi tape to hold these things in place. And just now, oh, my cousin's coming to the door, and my husband, my husband must be around. But hang on. Hang on, I don't think he is. I don't know. Oh yeah, I don't know where he is. Hang on, I gotta go to the door for a second, you guys. Admire that a bit more. I'll be right back. Hey, I don't know where Fury is, but I'll take that as proof of love. Thanks, hon. No problem, thanks. So Bizarro. Unfortunately, he only was dropping off something, so that's cool. Not Bizarro that he's coming. That my dog is here and my husband is not. Usually, those that know me, so we live on a farm, and of course my dog we go walking, and of course my dog comes with us. Okay, that's that. More white. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm stamping a few things just for fun. You're like, fun? There's no fun in stamping. Yeah, there is. I'm gonna stamp a couple of these guys. I do think I need at least one more of this. This is pretty. So I actually have, good gracious, I have 3 different cherry cobbler ink pads. What's up with that? That's crazy. And you're like, because I have a new one. So at one point, I was going to replace all of my other ones. So I'm making more sense in case you've never seen. These are the old ones where right? They're totally a different style. And this one is a foam one. I actually do have both of these up. I have my felt pad as well. I did replace many of my felt pads with the foam pads. And I honestly don't know why I have a cherry cobbler in this color. I'm kind of musing about that right now. Okay. Remember when you're taking off your guys that do it a little gently. The longer they've stayed on your block, the gentler you need to be as well to boot. But just be gentle when you're pulling them off, because although our photopolymer is very sturdier than lots of other stuff out there, it could tear. Let's go with that, because I don't know that it actually can or not, but I think if you're over rough with it, and some of them have a higher propensity. The thick one's not too much, but like this guy, okay, let's face it. if you start tugging on that, there's only a little tiny, tiny piece there. So if you're tugging too hard, one plus of it is, generally speaking, there's nothing so much, it's not holding on so much. So it doesn't take as much to pull it off. But if it's somehow, if you were hanging on to this, we could pull it apart. You know what I mean? It might be that you have two bigger pieces and a thin piece still in between. All right, that all said. You know, this is going to take way too long to cut with the thing. I will cut one out proper and two out this way. So we're quilting today. I'd love to see your guys's takes on quilting after you decide which way you want to go. I'm glad I did a little tiny bit. I faked out one if you're looking. So I did paper piecing in a different way. P was paper piecing last time, but I looked up like quilting things. This was the way that and I have to actually look up. I'm curious. Tomorrow night on the cocktail hour, I will show you, if I get to a couple of these, I'll finish a couple cards off with all the fancy stuff to show how a quilted card. I think just actually letting the quilt work for itself is half of it. But I literally was gluing, piecing, cutting strips, cutting shapes. Anyways, the bottom line is I quilted like a real quilter, sewing all straight lines kind of thing. So all those patchwork quilts that you're doing, you know. Anyways, and then this is another one. And then there's the faux one with just using some stuff. Oh, and I kind of woke this up so I could take a peek. I believe that there's going to be 3 backgrounds. And then 3 backgrounds and 2 lacy pieces. So it's going to be a cute set to have. And I'm trying to think. I don't have it on pre-order yet. And I'm very back and forth on it. Part of it is I'm not positive if I want the stamp set this time. Do you guys ever sometimes wonder, do I want the bundled savings? And often the decider there is the stamp set ends up being like $18 or something. And it's like, wow, may as well have it for the times that I want it. And that is why I have a full bookshelf, because that's how I feel. Sorry, I'm having trouble finding my ends of my washi tape. Don't do this right now. I don't have time for this washi tape. Don't play games with me. Ah, there it is. Go all the way around, and I don't find it because it's what? Yes, it's the other way. I think one hint. Sorry, I am cutting out dies over here if you happen to be just coming on and being like, where is she? Remember my motto of use it or lose it. So there that is. Oh, and then I need one more of these guys. This one's going to be pretty because I'm going to be able to use some of the pretty lacy pieces from this set. Wow, you guys, I can't. That must go there. There. That took a long time. Flowers are sometimes hard to know how the die lays on. Do you guys find that sometimes? Okay. Then we're quilting. Are you ready? And I'm just going to do this on white. I think that'll be pretty. So I'm going to do a 3 3/4 by 5 piece of paper, just because I think 5. I might not have enough room for 3 3/4 by 5. I think it'll be nice is all I'm saying. Just because that's what I'm going to do. All right. Here we go. Loop-de-loo. Too much red? No. That's funny. Oh, definitely having the 3 blocks, though, of the one. Keisha doesn't like red, just so you know. All right. Because I'm laying it on white, it almost doesn't matter, but this definitely slipped. So how often, I should do a poll, how often do you trim around your dies because they're not quite as aligned as you'd like them to be? Usually I'll have to do half. You definitely have a guideline though, right? All right, so I'm gonna put this here. When I'm stamping that, how is that going to work? Is it just not? That's funny. Oh, like that. Never mind. I got it now. I got this, you guys. I got it. I am kind of laughing because I'm just trying to glue. Come on, glue. Come on. It might be out, but I don't think I'm hearing breathing either. Hang on a second. Let's try a new one. This is why I don't glue online. You guys all think that I'm a wiener because I don't glue, and it's because too many malfunctions. Okay. Oi, oi, oi. I got glue everywhere. No pre-thought here. Always, my days are a little unpremeditated. And I had an idea today that I would do something like this. And I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers because I actually didn't do any kind of a dry run whatsoever. But we'll hope. And I think I can just put this one up here and it'll be nice too. I might even be able to trim that off and stick another one over there. Hang on a second. Trimming, trimming. This might actually work very nicely over here. Pretend like that belongs there. And if I, come on. No. If I could, I'd maybe put one little tiny piece here, but this piece maybe I could pretend. Okay, let's do it. That might work actually. Glue. Just have it. I'm gonna have it like it's just coming in at an angle though. A little less strong. Ooh. Hang on, I really don't like that white chunk. Okay. Come back here. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to run it through. This is the quilting part. So if you look through your embossing folders, some of them look totally like quilts. Do you know what I mean? I believe this one totally looks like a quilt. I don't know why. I also think the swirl, I should have shown you first what I was planning to do, and then you glue these on and you'll go right through and it quilts it immediately kind of thing. I think in this case, with this set, I'm going to go with this, but I could do, I might as a favor, not live, but come back and show you this exact same one done through this one if you're kind of curious. So let me know if you're curious. Yes, Lori, after do another one. I will run them both through, but I'm going to go and run this through right now. And this is to me one of the classic faux, you're going to hear a little chop here because I just didn't like the way that this was uneven with my bad cutting. I feel like I'm doing this crooked-eyed is what it's my real problem. It's like, is that squared up? I feel like it's squared up. I don't know. It doesn't feel square, but anyways, okay, so now I'm running it through, and you want to put it the right way, of course. line it up so it's square, and bring in my little gray sandwich maker. And then I'm going to let you guys go just about. I'll hear my beeper going off sometime soon here too. So quilting had all sorts of possibilities. And so pretty. And then I have one more that will make this actually even better. But look at how cool this looks. So the white on white I really like. Doesn't that look like it's kind of quilted? Now the fun thing, I'm going to do this. I'm going to lose some of it, and I might need to run it through again. But I have this stitched greenery, and I'm going to put that over top of that because it's going to be beautiful. But since most people won't have the stitched greenery, I'll hold on. I'll show you this. So this is a faux, and like I said, I'm not leaving you high and dry. Not this next, not April, but in May, there is going to be similar to that darn, what do you call it? Brilliant Backgrounds. You are going to have an option that you'll be able to buy something. So if you like the idea of sending quilted cards, get yourself on a waiting list with me, a watch list with me, and I'll help you get that ordered up when they come available. And they will be, I'm picturing in my mind, I'm sure it's 3. It might be it's 3 and 3, but I'm kind of hung up that it should be 5. Anyways, okay, so faux panel stitching, embossing folder, glue on glue. You could also totally just emboss, and I'll do that as well. So I will show you, I'm going to run, but I will show you, oh, I can quilt this really fast. I will quilt this. Okay, and then paper plane. So there's 3 ways. This one's hard to see. I think you can just barely see it, but you can sort of see it, right? That's embossed like that. And then I'll show you this cool, if you ever get a chance to get this guy. Hang on. We're going to show you a quilted panel. Like crazy. You're going to be like, that's marvelous, Lori. Yes, it is. Two-part process here, though. Hang on. And then I'm going. I don't think you can hear my timer behind me, but I can. Okay, so now it has stopped. Since I am a weather girl, now it has stopped raining, kind of, and it's really, truly snowing now. Oh, yeah, this is going to be awesome. So I'll show you this, and then I'm actually trying to think. The embossing folder is supposed to be the stitching, right? The stitching pattern. Yeah, so I guess I won't go over top of it, because that is supposed to be the stitching pattern. All right, and then that is that other guy. How cool is that, hey? So it's the faux stitching all over again, but just a really, really fabulous pattern. And what I was promising was just an embossing folder over top of that. Hang on 1 second to wrap this up. Piece of paper. Oh, this will be pretty. Oh, this will be perfect. Hang on. 4, 5 1/4. 4 in this panel. Oh, this will be perfect. So excited that this was right there. Right. So embossing folder, and you will be happy. I will show you this right now. So because the DSP is not its core white, it actually is more pronounced than this one. It's thinner, so it has more. And I'm just going to, because I've got lots of that paper, I'll do it in the swirl, and you can see the difference between the swirl and this one. Just 1 second. And we'll wrap it up. Right like that. Hang on. Of course, the swirl isn't a 3D one. Dang it. It also doesn't need to be fancy. I think. I feel like I need all pieces of this, but I guess not. Oh no, because I guess I am talking to myself, if you're wondering. Okay, we'll wrap up this quilting day. This was fun, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I could actually use either side of this, but to do lemons and lemons, kinda. So that's a matter of which way would you like, which way. This honestly is too busy for that one to me. We lost the thing. So definitely on this one. This one 100% lends itself to this. This is just too little of a detail. So maybe that's an idea if it's a smaller detail. So that's, it's debossed there. So that actually would work as well, probably. So I might use that side on that one. Faux, by just having the stitching, which you'd have, if that's a specialty one, let's go with that. That's like having a big long arm, because you have to own this guy. That one is just stinking gorgeous, period. End of story. This one is a smaller version, and I had to run it through 3 times to get it covered all over, but it's very effective. I love it. So faux, and you do have an option of getting this one down the road for sure. Okay, so touch base with me and say, I'm really keen on it. And then all the crazy paper piecing, and I never did get back to that other little 9 square. I'm gonna learn about 9 square and figure out what I'm supposed to do next with that. These pieces here. So quilting of some kind. I think you then repatch things together oddly or something to make, or you do this or something, right? And that's the part that I don't understand what I'm doing, other than making, oh, it's off of there, other than making a runner. I don't really know what you're supposed to do with that. And that's getting pretty quick. All right, so these are my favorites. The embossing folder is very nice, and layering on top is cool. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Q for quilting. Thanks very much for hanging out with me, and I will see you tomorrow night for a party here, cocktails and cards, and we will be live again tomorrow night at 8 Mountain Time. Bye-bye.